Hello, everyone, and welcome to Got Thrones, a Game of Thrones podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra August, and with me, as ever, is my illustrious co-host, Johnny Kolazinski.
Hello, everyone. We are here to discuss House of the Dragon, episode 5 of season 1.
We light
We
the...
light the way.
I don't know who they're talking about lighting the way at this episode because none of these people are aspirational, but we'll get to that. Folks, if you are tuning into this relatively recently, you can find us on our social medias at Got Thrones on Instagram, at Got_Thrones on TikTok, and at Got Thrones Podcast on YouTube. You can find us you can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And we are doing a House of the Dragon season 1, season 2 rewatch ahead of season 3 dropping sometime in June.
Yeah.
If you haven't, Johnny, there are so many things to remember about this show.
Yes. It is dense across the board. And so we're kind of rewatching it so you don't have to. Maybe this will spark some memory for you, or maybe it'll be that, oh, you know what? I actually do kind of want to catch this.
Yeah, maybe you'll hear how unhinged we feel about Otto's manipulations of Allison and whatnot, and you'll be like, you know what, I gotta see this through and figure out what happens. In which case, HBO, we will take a cut of your marketing budget, please.
Yep, absolutely.
Whatever you see fit to share. So these are meant to be Cliff's Notes episodes. We're clocking in around 20. They're meant to be 20 to 30 minute episodes to give us a quick reacquaintance with what's happening and how the pieces move. Because especially in this first season, so much time passes, so much happens. There's so much character. There's so much development, and as we're discovering, a lot of it's quite good. But because of the density of the show, it's just a review is warranted, so you're welcome.
Yeah, I think that we're 5 episodes and like 9 years into the season at this point.
The amount of like I like relationships that have like blossomed only to be torn asunder within 20, and relationships that you believe in, like that you are attached to before, like until all of a sudden they explode in front of you and you're like, oh, really? That's all would have been a whole season before.
In keeping with we're going to keep this short and sweet. We do something that we like to call the Trial of the Seven, where both Alexandra and I describe the episode in just 7 sentences. And we like to think of it as competitive, but really we support each other on this podcast. So it's a team effort with a winner and a loser.
And the idea
that I don't think we've ever actually announced.
The winner is supposed to be you guys, who get 2 separate recaps of the episode from different perspectives, and then also we follow with a tracking board that has a little bit more of a little bit more organized following of kind of like what went down in terms of like who got married, who died, whose alliances shifted, what stage of decomp is Viserys in. So that'll be to come a little later in the episode. But I think, Johnny, right now, should we start the trial of the 7 sentences?
Yes. And why don't you kick us off? Because I believe I did last episode.
Okie dokie. I will take that honor. Hear the book, folks. I am reading from a tome. All right. Sentence number 1. Daemon murders his wife. That's it. That's the sentence. Corlys gets the marriage he deserves. Kristen's moral infrastructure collapses after Rhaenyra says no to his marriage proposal. Then he narcs on Rhaenyra to Alicent. Alicent breaks up with Rhaenyra. Kristen murders Laenor's lover. Surprise, surprise. Which, to be fair, we didn't love Joffrey. And then finally, Alicent becomes America's Next Top Model.
I like it.
Welcome, folks. Johnny, tell me, what happened this week? What happened?
Daemon murders his wife, who was much hotter than he gave her credit for.
Ugh, the cheek.
Dad arranges for Rhaenyra to marry her younger cousin Laenor, who's gay but down for a lavender marriage. Sir Kristen does not like the idea of being a side piece. Everyone tries to ruin the engagement party. Alicent is late but dressed to kill. Damon shows up all flirty, but before he gets the chance to ruin the evening by proposing to the bride to be, Kristen one ups him by killing Leonor's boyfriend. That was all one sentence, by the way.
Beautiful.
They end up having a shotgun wedding, which is good because Dad collapses and probably wouldn't have made it to the original save the date of
I
next week.
excellent, excellent, excellent work. Excellent work. Our audiences are so lucky to have both of us. And to translate a little, well, not to translate, but like just to go over that with kind of some important points. Viserys decomp status. He is. It's getting worse. It's getting worse fast.
Yeah, he's at full Moulin Rouge, coughing into a napkin
Yep.
levels
Yep. Sipping on that laudanum, or
of dying.
yeah, yeah. It's milk of the poppy time. So we don't
Hmm.
have. But see, at the same time, we all thought at this point in time that Viserys was going to be like down and out like next week. And friends, he hangs on.
He's doing, yeah.
Like yeah.
He has work to do, and he is finishing the work.
Yes. Yes, he is. Oh, one of my favorite moments from last week, or not last week, from last episode that we didn't talk about is like when Otto has come in to tell Viserys about what Rhaenyra has done. And Viserys is like, "You came into my bedroom," and that does a wide shot and it's his bedroom, but with like the entire life-size King's Landing model. And it was just extremely
Hmm.
funny to me.
One of the reasons I wish we had a slower moving arc of this early stuff is just to have more time with Viserys and his model train set.
I want to learn more. I want to see a place on the train set, and then I want to go to that place in King's Landing. And
Hmm.
I feel like we didn't
Hmm.
get that, and that.
Do you think there's a little Rhaenyra in in the Red Keep in the model?
I hope so. We got some new people, and we got some new profiles on people. Sir Geoffrey Lonmouth, not to be confused with Sir Geoffrey of Monmouth.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Arthurian legends folks. But this gay man didn't was his first time blackmailing, and it didn't work out great.
Yeah. Because he wasn't trying to blackmail.
Oh man, but I don't know. If I were Sir Kristen, that would have landed that way. Intent over impact.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, it was more of a, hey, I got a buddy. You got a buddy. Let's be buddies.
Yes, oh, I did have to work on his delivery. I
Yeah. The meta of my meta is my friend. And we get the return again from the hunt episode of Larry Strong, who really exists to make us like Kristen a little more.
Yeah, that I think you just nailed that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Laris. This was, yeah.
Hmm.
We see Laris. I wrote it down in my notes because it was such a beautifully acted moment. When Laris says to Alicent, like, "Oh, I wonder why she got that tea. I thought it was something very serious." I'm like,
Yeah.
that's Regina George level, like golf,
Y-
like
y-
creep, impressed, disturbed. I love that in a lady, in a dude. It's awkward, weird.
mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Laris Strong is interesting because he's our Peter Baelish essentially, but we didn't see Peter Baelish quite this much on the come up. We met him when he was already pretty established, and Laris is not so much doesn't really need to be on a material come up as he does sort of like in a reputational come up. Like
Hmm.
he's overlooked for obvious reasons, which he shouldn't be, but he is. And he seems to be finding his way to worm him. He seems to be he's finding an ally in Alicent, as he says they're both outsiders.
Yeah. I think a couple episodes from now is when I'm going to want to have a conversation on Larry Strong and presentation of disability in the media, but not quite yet. We'll
Very
wait till he starts licking feet.
folks, put a pin in that. We will be hitting on that will be a discussion featured in one of our future episodes. Can't wait to hear it.
Hmm.
Be part of it.
Did anyone get married this episode?
Nobody got, like, married. They got, like, betrothed, or did they get married at the end? Yes.
Yeah, that was the wedding. Yeah, no,
Oh.
that was the end. Like by the power invested in me by the father and the crone and the maiden and the blah blah blah.
Alright, ask me
Like,
again.
did anyone get married this episode, Alexander August?
Dude, did they get married? So much, like, yes. Yes.
Who?
Rhaenyra and Laenor get hitched,
Yeah, yeah. So
and it was a joyous
again,
wedding.
like
Weddings are
it
great
was
in
a joyous
Westeros.
wedding.
You wanna go to a
Yeah,
wedding in Westeros. We'll get
yeah.
to that later.
Uh,
Or, well,
hmm
ugh, I oof.
and who died?
Sir Joffrey of Monmouth, or Lonmouth.
We hardly knew ye.
Me hardly, but I don't know. I don't know. I felt like he had nefarious intentions, and I say that because Laenor feels like Laenor's whole character is just like, I don't wanna be here. Like, I'm good. Can I do you need me for this? Am I here for this meeting? Like, he just doesn't feel like he has the ambition that his father does. His father doesn't see him clearly.
Hmm
His father's like, oh man, the minute he lays with a girl, he's gonna love it. And Rhaenys is like, okay, later. And I don't know. I think I got a different impression of Joffrey than you did, because
Yeah.
I found him to be, like, loving, but at the same time, I just knowing how we see Rhaenyra and everybody around these people, or who are people in power, it's really hard to trust that anybody is there for the perfect reasons.
hmm That's a good point.
But
Um, I don't know. Like I saw him as just reading the room wrong. Like as he had the perfect setup, if he does really love Laenor, like he's got like he said, well, somebody's going to need to go and defend your honor, and he's going to go be his Kristen Cole,
yeah,
and then finding out that, oh wait, I just watched these two people eye bang each other from across the room at her engagement party to my boyfriend. You're you're Rhaenyra's Joffrey. It's great. We've got so much in common.
I did
But
like
what
that,
he
like, the
says
gays
was,
were on the scene and they were like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, she had sex with that guy."
oh, yeah, yeah,
1000%. That was, yeah,
oh
that
yeah.
was well met. But
Like,
I interrupted you, I'm
y-
sorry.
y- but yeah, but he delivers it poorly, and so instead of saying, "Oh, hey, we have something in common," what he says was, "Well, we both have secrets, and it would be a shame if those secrets got out."
I see, that's Black intent v impact, man. Girl,
Yep.
girl.
Um, but also he didn't know that Kristen Cole was a broken human being.
Yeah, he didn't know that
Uh,
Christian
and and the minute Rhaenyra said no to running off and joining the circus, like
his
a
whole
switch was flipped.
yeah, like, I meant it when I said his moral infrastructure just shatters, because, like, he's a simple
Hmm
kid, like, he did everything right except for this one
hmm
thing, and now I was thinking about it, and, like, I think a little bit to him, Rhaenyra, when he says, "Let's do this, like, let's get out of here, we love each other, clearly we've made these you've sacrificed your maidenhood, I have sacrificed my like, we've done this thing together, let's run away. You don't want to be a part of this," which, and he's not wrong. And I think Rhaenyra has never been offered that before, A. And B was like, really just wanted to get laid that night, and it was not that serious to
hmm
her. And so, on the one hand, I think I loved seeing the conflict in her face of being like, oh, wow, this is something I hadn't considered. I really don't want to do it with you. Also, like, I like my house. Like, I like my palace. I am the queen. And so, like, she says, like, but I think that it's also mixed in the fact that, like, she does not like, she wants a param it's kind of like Daenerys and what's his name? Dario, when
Yep.
Yeah, at the end of I think it's Battle of the Bastards, she's like, there's a man in there that I loved and I could not be more ready to leave and get on with it. And I think Kristen just does not have the capacity in his brain for him to have made that huge decision and for her to not be as engaged with for her not to honor that in the way he wants. Like he's like, well, if we run off to Essos, then I'm not an asshole. And she's like, well, we're not going to run off to Essos. You're not an asshole, but like we're not we're nothing is changing. Like, you still have to wear that white cloak that isn't really white anymore.
Mhm. I think that Kristen had a fundamental misunderstanding of what Rhaenyra wanted and didn't want. It was
Yeah.
not that she did not want to be queen or take up those responsibilities. It was the inequities of the sexual politics, specifically of the point that she was in at that moment. Of despite the fact that I am next in line for this throne, I need to subjugate myself to a man in order to cement my position.
Yeah, which is a hard one, not which is knowledge that she's, like, barely excited about at this point. Like, she has just now been
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, I gotta do this," and to have this guy come in and be like, "What if you just said 'fuck it all,' and, like, ran away to camp with me for the rest of our lives?" And she's just like, "No," like, 1,000 times, "No." And she's 17, and she doesn't know what she's doing, and she doesn't know yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, like, she doesn't appreciate the effect that she has on people at this right now. And that's again, during this episode, I just kept coming back to the inevitability of it. Like, just the inevitability. Everybody truly is trying their best. And this is just an arrangement that consistently puts people at odds with one another as they claw for like the one piece of supremacy, marriage.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Kristen, who dies this week? We did lose somebody, right?
Yet we did lose somebody, and it wasn't Kristen. You might have thought it was Kristen because he was very much in every shot of the person dying as he was ripping him apart with his bare hands.
Ugh.
But but yeah, we met and lost Sir Joffrey
Yes, we did.
pretty darn
Not
quickly.
long for this world. Laenor leaves his house for the first time in a long time, only to, like, be ludicrously traumatized at his own wedding feat. Like, he didn't know not to go to weddings in
Mhm.
Westeros. Rhaenyra's
Yeah.
like, "My hair looks so nice."
Well, at this point in time in Westeros, weddings have been a positive affair.
Weddings are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Joffrey doesn't make it. I love that scene. It's such an interesting because you see Daemon and Rhaenyra dancing, and this is another like Daemon's just flirting with every girl at the party, just like he's like, maybe I'll dance with my niece, maybe I'll dance with my other niece, or my cousin,
Yeah.
sister, whatever. Who can I'm Daemon, I'm chaotic. And then she's kind of reading him a little bit for that, and then all of a sudden it cuts out the camera cuts, I believe, to the head table, and there's just a huge commotion, and we don't understand what it is, but it is Kristen Cole starting to beat the shit out of Joffrey and eventually killing him.
Mhm.
But we're meant to see the commotion where like Rhaenyra's knocked to the ground, she's really scared, she's
Yeah.
uh deep chaos.
Well, I actually want to talk on that shot a little more because first we see Viserys seeing her and Daemon and thinking, "Oh, I'm going to have to put a stop to this,"
Yeah.
and then the commotion happens,
Oh yeah,
and
that's right.
a stop is put.
That's right. And he's very concerned for a minute. Like you're meant to see, I think what we're meant to experience via those shots was just how scared everyone was and what the vibe was, which was
Mhm.
terrified and very destabilizing. Which, you know, when someone beats someone to death at a party, it's compelling.
It ends the party.
Yeah, yeah, or like drastically shifts the vibe depending
Mhm.
where we're at.
Mhm.
Before that happened, kind of towards the beginning of the episode, was one of my favorite scenes of this series so far, which is when Otto, who does not die, he leaves though. So according to
Yes.
kind of might as well die given Allison's perspective. With the most beautiful umbrella in the world you've ever seen. She meets him as he's getting ready to ride away back to Hightower with his tail between his legs. And
I tail it to Hightower.
yep. And she's like, I really didn't want this to happen. And he's like, but the things you did made it happen. And he kind of, she's like, but I believe Allison is still like, my friend told me she didn't do it. Like, I believe her. And Otto is just at this point, he's like, it is so much bigger than what you believe. It doesn't, he tells her, and this is where we hear it kind of in point of fact, that like the realm will not accept her. There will be war. When she will have to kill, and she said, and he tells her like she is going to have to kill your children so she can cement her claim because she will need to. And he explains it the way he explains it to Allison. I always feel like he's kind of explaining to us, and it's sort of my I have such mixed feelings about Otto because again, he's just not I don't get a sense where I don't sense that he has a greed for ambition. I think he's classist, but I feel like he's more pragmatic than anything else, and he really just doesn't want there to be a fucking mess, and he would like his family to like be around so they can continue to make sure there isn't a fucking mess because Targaryens be fucking cray all of the time.
Yeah, I think that someone would have moved on Viserys and been that shoulder to cry on. And by positioning Alicent there, not only is he doing what's right for the High Towers, but also he's putting himself in a way where he can safeguard the kingdom. Um, on a scale of villainous people in Westeros,
Mhm.
like Otto's like a 2.
Yeah. Like, Tywin kills a lot of people, and he's kinda happy
Mhm.
to, and he kinda likes it, and he's good at his jobs, but, like, you just get this sense that he just likes he 'cause it's like it's him sleeping with Shay. He's a hypocrite.
Mhm.
He lives one way, and orders people to do one thing, and then he gets privileged. So it's like real and Otto, I get the sense, is just like is not that much of a hypocrite, plainly.
He'd have been pimping out his daughter to someone because that is how it works.
That's how it
She is
works.
going to marry
That's what she's for.
to provide security for herself and her future children. And there is no better security than marrying the king and having your kids be the king, except for,
When there's another
um, yeah,
Ugh.
except for when king is progressive.
Okay, so this episode, which just a tremendous amount happened, and a lot of people had good days and bad days. Who are our winners and our losers? Who slayed? Who got cut?
This one, once again, it just like last week, is hard for me because nobody at the end came out on top. If it weren't for the murder, it'd be Laenor again. But unfortunately, there was the murder.
It's just pretty
Um,
definitive.
yeah.
Oh, what
So
happened to
I
Joffrey?
guess
Oh, what happened to Baylor
go,
in the back is what happened to Joffrey in the front.
yes. Oh yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna have to give it. I'm giving it to Damon because he kind of positioned himself to be in a good spot with where things go. He backed, if not the winning horse, the horse that would tolerate him.
Or the horse that would kill his
Uh,
current wife.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He hobbled the winning horse. I have a hard time giving Damon the win because we haven't talked about Rhea versus murder.
But that was a win for him.
Oh, oh, but like, really, was it? Like, it's sort of shitty. She reaches for her bow, and then her horse spooks, and then the horse falls on her, and she like breaks her neck, and then he
Uh
like
huh.
kills her. But I was like, are you why put him in the position of coming to the Vale to murder her? Because that's clearly what that's what this scene tells me. And then
Hmm.
have him act kind of not do it. Like you gotta whole ass. You can't half ass this side of Damon. Like, this was also kind of one of my least favorite Damon episodes because he's just like such a fucking chaos demon and is such a like rock star. Nothing's we're gonna I'm just gonna do what I want because I just do what I want of a dragon. But anyway, so in terms of my Slade, who I thought had a really good episode, I'm gonna give it to Allison, our queen in green. She listens to her dad
Mhm.
and she's like, "You know what, Rhaenyra? You know what, Rhaenyra? I think you did sit on a dick that night. I think you did." And I think personally, I really wish she would have discussed it with Rhaenyra before she decided to like set their friendship on fire. Because then Rhaenyra would have told her, like, yo, I did you asked me if I slept with my uncle. And I like that's a conversation that I would like to have happen personally, because
Yeah.
that's a meaningful detail. And if you were going to ask me a question about who I had sex with and I wasn't supposed to have had sex with somebody, and you asked me specifically about one person that I did not have sex with, that would be the information that I would give you. And I would not be a liar, and I would know that if you put me on the stand, and I would like I watched Law and Order. But Ellison, yeah, Ellison did her job and like definitely was like, "Hi, I will be straight repping the Greens from here on out. Let's not get it
Mhm.
twisted, father husband." Poor Rhaenyra's like got her hair done on ice, and she's like, "Wait, why aren't we friends again?" Allison's like, "You'll find out." Yeah.
Who would you say got cut?
Who got cut? Laenor.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
ugh, didn't go his way.
No. No.
How about you?
Since you said Lenore, I'm gonna say Kristen. Because number one, he overshared,
Big time.
and that kind of led to the destruction of the realm. And number two, he treated this engagement party like a Dothraki wedding.
Yeah, and like nobody asked you to bring that energy, son. Like you're all worried about breaking your vows. I don't think you're supposed to murder people at parties. Like,
Yeah, you broke a face.
get a therapist.
Hmm.
Don't be at the event if you can't, you know, be
Hmm.
at the event.
And this might be a spoiler for what's coming up later in the season, but this kind of ruins his chance with Rhaenyra.
A little bit, yeah. She was thinking about it, but now it's
Hmm.
you killed my
Hmm.
husband's lover. Like now I what do you want me to do with that?
I can't bring you to the function.
Do you see how high my hair is? Like
Yeah,
this is a big deal function. Like this is an important day
this
and
this was my engagement party, and no one was looking at me. First, you my best friend shows up, all hot because of a conversation you had with her,
which I did not give you permission to
and
share.
then exactly, and then I'm finally starting to get the eyes back on me. You cause a scene.
It's extremely self-centered.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I can't be in a relationship with someone who cannot come correct to an event. Like I mean,
For 4 hours,
for
four
like
hours.
4 hours. You're not even supposed to drink on the job. Like
Yeah.
I picked you because I you met a certain standard. Now I'm gonna have to fire you. I
Unfortunately, that standard included PTSD.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
They
Anyway,
picked the one guy with battle experience.
so this is Kristen's origin story, in case you were wondering where he goes. Yeah, he never does forgive Rhaenyra, at least so far, for not wanting to marry him after having sex with him one time.
Hmm.
The bar is so low for men.
Not wanting to marry him, and also not being willing to accept the, oh no, we can just spend our lives together.
And he was all like, you want me to be a whore? A whore? You want me to be a whore?" And Rhaenyra's like, "Can you just be cool? Like, no, I don't want you to be I want you to be my white knight, man. Come on." Like, she's so
Hmm.
desperate for him to just be cool, and he absolutely cannot do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Laenor's my loser, and Kristen is yours, and I think that makes sense.
Hmm.
Who would you say is our Queen of Love and Beauty?
And this is one we're going to differ on, and I'm surprised about, but I'm giving it to Joffrey. Like,
Really?
I feel like, except for that poor choice of phrasing
Simply Veiled Threat.
that led to his death, like, I thought he was a supportive boyfriend. Like, oh, hey, we've got this arrangement that's going to work for the rest of our lives. I'm going to be there by you. You're coming up. I'm coming up. Everything's going to be great.
Everything's coming up
Like,
Lena and Joff. Everything's
yeah,
coming up Joffrey.
like,
I'm not.
but poor, he did not read Kristen well, and now he is dead.
No, he was not.
What about for you?
I would say my Queen of Living Beauty, I'm giving it to Rhaenyra because it's like she finally got around to like kind of being okay with getting married. And she thinks she's worked out
Hmm.
this whole thing. She's like, I did like about Joffrey that he at least was like met the whole like we can just spend our lives together with a positive attitude, like more than I can say for
Hmm.
Chris. But I loved this event and I thought she looked so beautiful, and it was really sad that it ended the way it did.
Yeah,
Who was your most
her hair
valuable?
was great.
Her hair was really great. Rhaenys's hair was also great. The tall Targaryen,
Hmm.
like structured beehive.
The bouffant.
Yes, yes. Bouffant with braids. Just the braids and the thank you, wardrobe, hair and makeup. Everyone's the
Mm.
art department. Period. Honestly, I'm just really enjoying the fact that we got like Real Housewives of Targaryen like interiors
Yeah.
all the time. Driftmark
Um,
was gorgeous.
a lot of this show is much prettier than Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
My MVP, my most valuable parent, and I think this is where we are going to agree 100%. And this is sorry to ruin your streak, Viserys, but it has to go to Corlys.
Oh, we do disagree. But I
Oh, hey, then let me defend it.
please.
So number one, like, I don't think that he was coming into the conversation 100% sold. Like, this was not a negotiation in a I'm going to see what I can get. It's a I'm going to see what we can give each other. But he was also willing to take the concession of, okay, well, the kids are going to be Viserions, but the dynasty will remain Targaryen. And honestly, I think that's both fair and a bigger concession than would necessarily be reasonable.
Yeah, which again is what we like about Viserys is that he is a reasonable guy and he's like,
Hmm.
there's a way for us all to be happy, so let's all be happy. And Corlys, I think, is so excited because this is where I think Corlys is really feeling himself this episode because he's like won the shit on the stepstones, like he's got this great wife. The king wants his son. The other guy might want his daughter. Like Corlys is like his shit is on lock. Everything's peaceful. He's got the most money in the world. He's got the Crab King's crown. Like things are good, and he does not really listen to Rhaenys when she's like, we don't want to be associated with these people. Like when he marries her, they're gonna go ape shit, and we're gonna be in it, and we're just gonna be in it.
Hmm.
And then he's like, "But no, girl, like you could be queen. Like you were." He's like, "No, but you could have been queen, and I can make you queen." And she's like, "I don't want you to. I'm fine. Put this down." And I have my feminism glasses on, and it was just very much Corlys, who is a lovely guy, and like in terms of the men of Westeros, Corlys is two thumbs way up. But you can see his hunger and his ambition kind of at play when she's like, "This is not as important as you're making it out to be. Like it's you. Like please don't like this isn't what you think it is."
Yeah. I hadn't looked at it in quite the same way, and so I'm rethinking things a little bit from the well, he does everything for uh for Lenor, but is it the right move? I mean, we know it's not, but there was no right move. Who then would you give the MVP to?
Otto. I just I like the father daughter scenes. period. I like Viserys and Rhaenyra, in part because
Mhm.
he's talking to her like she's a person. And, we don't have to contextualize a father-daughter scene in like a Tywin Arya sort of thing where like he plays it thinking she's a boy, so that's how he'll speak to her as opposed to just missing her. But he's like, it's not about how your love for your friend, your belief and trust in your friend does not determine what will happen when she comes to power. It's not he's like it's hard I think it's hard to explain that kind of certainty that somebody like Otto would have being an adult and seeing some horrible things in West seeing the way things move in succession that Alicent who wants the world to be great and is just doing her best every day is following every rule and trying to make every relationship good and he's basically telling her he's like no 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 in order to survive you have to light this on fire.
It's almost like there's a game around those thrones,
Oh, everybody wants one.
and, like, if you don't win, you die.
You die like there's no in between. Yeah, I think that wraps us up on We Light the Way, episode 5.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what way was lit,
I
but
yeah. W I'll think about the title. Maybe next week we can
I'm sure there was a line that we missed because we didn't look at the title before we watched it. Probably something from the wedding.
maybe. Well, all right, folks. Thanks for listening. You can expect us. We should be dropping episode 6 fairly soon. Keep checking your feeds, find us on socials, and we're excited to get hype with you ahead of House of the Dragon season 3.
Yep, yep. We will be back soon.
See you later, folks.
I hope so.